How's it going there? Tolstoy fans, it's your boy, Alki, back at it again with the self-destruction. Oh, that's right. It helps if you put the fucking mic in front of you, you jackass. Fuck! No, I have not imbibed yet, but we're gonna be doing that. And once again, this is part of the cycle of creation and destruction. And, that's better. I've got a lot of reasons for doing the horrible shit that I fucking do, but, I was good for like 3 days, and I got a lot of stuff done. I was working on some YouTube content, by the way, that I think you guys are really gonna fucking enjoy, but the editing of which is... editing is... has been heinous, and, well, anyway. And, you know, I always choose the days where I actually manage to get a wicked workout in to poison my gains. I don't know, maybe I'm just tired of winning, you know? Fuck. Yeah, that's weird. Anyway. Yep, doing another one of these Voodoo Ranger mans, because these things are pretty fucking great, so. It's my favorite new beer. Damn. That's a really good, for 9% alcohol, like, that's got a really great taste. It's got a taste you can taste it. Why do kids love Cinnamon Toast Crunch? Because you can get blackout drunk. No, and that's not what we're doing, by the way. I definitely needed a few days off from the constant cycle of destruction and creation there, but I was hoping to pick up more steam. I don't know, man. I get stuff done, you know what I mean? And then I get one step forward, two steps back, man. I get some stuff done, and then, fuck, if I was going to my job every fucking day, this wouldn't be a goddamn issue. I would risk the Ebola, or maybe I wouldn't. I don't know. I keep on reading mixing fucking reports about its deadliness, you know, as to whether or not it's, you know, flying Hungarian Ebola AIDS versus a nothing burger, and I don't know. I wish, you know, you guys should clue me in. I mean, we've had this conversation over and over again, but I feel like I just get drunk and then start talking about Transformers, and that's not That's not my thing. I get drunk and I start talking about guns or whatever, and then we never really get it conclusively, you know, we never conclude that shit. Now, got a buddy of mine who's a nurse in Germany, and he basically said, yeah, I'm watching people die in front of me now. What do you mean, no data? What the fuck would that mean? What do you mean, no data? What the fuck? What the fuck? No, I'm definitely still streaming. Okay. I thought we solved this issue. I thought by broadcasting at the speed of snail, we weren't having this issue. So is YouTube coming up? Oh, maybe I said the naughty word. Well, I didn't say corona. Alright, where's my... Oh, fuck, my phone isn't anywhere near me. I wanted to check to see how bad the playback was. How bad is the playback? Are you all feeling it? No, you're fucking, because I can see the shit and it looks like I'm not even moving. What is this nonsense? The shit should be streaming just fine. I'm gonna try something. This sounds... it's all Trump's fault. It's you can't say that word. It's not China, it's Trump, because Trump didn't do a good enough job, and this is why I support Joe Biden. We're just gonna see how we're gonna throw it on the flagpole, raise it up, see who salutes, baby. What do we got? Come on, YouTube. I'm a fucking communist, man. I'm ready to kill a third of all American people in order to whatever it is you want to do. All right, fucking. I'm just gonna check out the comments. I have no idea if you guys can really, if you're getting this through. It looks like a little bit of choppy. Oh fuck! Everyone's saying lag. Still bad. I said my prayers to Google. I guess we probably shouldn't be talking about. We should not open up by talking about the codename beer. That by the way, that's actually a thing. The algorithm detects if you're talking about it and goes censorship, and censors you. But I thought that if I put the lib spin on it, they would be okay. Zach Frisbee says, "Fuck it, doing it live. Fuck it, we'll do it. No, we'll do it live. Fuck it." That was one of the greatest memes of all time. One of the best. Oh yeah, baby. Clive says, "Hey, laugh my ass off, my boy. What's up? It's your boy HP back at it again with the fish people." Yep, committing to acts of self-destruction just as soon as I climb up out of the ditch. Fuck. At least I'm not as bad as that I used to be, if that makes any sense. Like, I used to drink every single night to blackout. And then I kind of fixed myself a little bit, and I was like, hey, look, you can't keep doing this. You've got to only do it on certain nights. So then it became, like, at least 2 or 3 times a week. You know, and then it became, that was like that for years. And then it became nothing. For, like, 3 years, I just didn't drink. But now we're in, like, a really bad situation. And I keep on fucking saying that, but, like, I guess no one has caught on to how fucked up I don't know. It's like, I don't know how else to explain this. Like, you ever see that episode of Firefly where, like, they're on, like, cut life support? That's what we got going on. Like, I have a limited amount of time, and then I'm going to disappear into the Alaskan wilderness. So, Corona is the least of my goddamn work. Oh, you said the fucking no-no word, you dumbass. Yeah, well, you know, shill's gonna shill, baby. Watch, it's gonna lag. It's gonna lag, isn't it? I'm waiting to see. I'm watching you. I always feel like somebody's watching me, and I got no privacy. Ooh, oh, ooh, oh. Anyway. All right. It's actually really helped that Fan purchased that Final Fantasy VII for me, and I've been playing that. Unfortunately, you know, I'm an old boy. Oh yeah, now that I've got some beer in my system, I can't feel it a little bit. But my claws here are sore from strained from playing too much of the video. That's what you get when you're an old person. Is it still fucking slowing down? All right. See, I thought we fucking solved this shit. I wonder if I can change. All right. I don't know if I can change stream settings on the fly. We're about to find the fuck out. Output. It's about to get real bad. Different quality than the stream will require extra CPU usage. I don't know what the fuck that means. God damn. I'm looking at OBS here. Encoder. Video bitrate 1000. What does that mean? Oh, encoder. No, I don't want that. What are you doing, Kevin? What are you doing? Video. Video is currently active. You cannot fuck with it. That's cool. Cool story, bro. Yeah, people in the comments are saying whether or not they can see it, you know, how choppy shit is. There's Kazlab. There's the man of the hour. This is what chapter you on 557. Did you meet Eris yet? Actually, her name's Aerith. Does anyone else know that? Oh, you literally wrote Aries. In my script for the review, so Kazlab basically just randomly bought me a goddamn game. That was some weird shit. Like, I was some cam girl level, like, oh, wow, I wasn't expecting this. So, like, I kind of felt obligated to make some kind of, like, review out of it. And I did put in a little bit of time into gaining some XP in computer, so I learned how to beam the... And it's horrific because YouTube won't confirm my sock puppet account, so essentially I'm just sending 10-minute fucking clips in, you know, to the tune of, like, 100 of them... No, really. To a sock puppet account, downloading that shit, trying to chop it up, and it's just fucking tedious. But I will admit, it is a fun new toy, and it has kept me occupied so that I don't do horrible drinkiness, specifically during the day, because, goddamn, it was getting about, like, 6 o'clock. I was like, 6 o'clock? Time to get fucked up. 2 hours later. Much better time to get fucked up. Am I right, comrade? Of course I am, because this is the end. This is the end, beautiful friend, the end. Yeah, mostly it's a fun toy because essentially it's a very dialogue-heavy game, and I have the footage now. So I can essentially do the, you know, I can splice together, reactions to my conclusions about the game as per, the characters of Final Fantasy VII, and I think it's kind of fun. To answer your actual question, what chapter am I on? Chapter 8. I just met Aerith, and we're doing flower stuff, so there's that. Kokorain123 says, I remember we talked about Facebook. We talked on Facebook one time years ago about foxhound coats that were sold on some site. Good shit, man. Yeah, that site's called Abby Shot, and let me tell you why I don't like them. Because back during the height of Tolstoy faggotry, I looked a lot of like custom clothiers because I was trying to get like a custom thing set up for Tolstoy, and again, I was trying to flush out the character, and I was refining his look. And you notice that throughout the series, throughout those episodes, before I just kind of snapped and said, I'm done doing this shit. And then you notice I never wear that shit after that. Yeah, like, no one picked up on that, but then again, I know that I was about as subtle as a jackhammer, so I understand. But I contacted them because I knew that they did a replica of the crocodile skin coat from The Matrix, and I love Morpheus, and I really kind of wanted to give Tolstoy a bit of a Morpheus vibe. If you notice, like, the sunglasses that I used to wear had a bit of a Morpheus-style look. Now I kind of just wear... Actually, I keep losing my goddamn sunglasses everywhere I fucking go, so I essentially just stopped wearing sunglasses, because I just... Even at cheap, $15 pair, I kept losing them. But before that, I really like the pugs. Those, like, kind of wrap-around, shades or whatever that are good for sports or whatever. I know, fat ass can't do sports. Okay, sure. I'm aware of this. Anyway, but I contacted them, and this shitty ass, like, Canadian company that produces, clothing that is supposed to be reminiscent of and or is a direct copy of, various, nerd fandom, costumes, was like, fuck off. They didn't have any time for me. They said, off I fuck. And they proceeded to pretty much produce all shit. Like, that they did for a while, they, did some actual coats that people cared about. Like, I remember they did the Firefly Brown coat, which was cool. Very cool. They did the Decker coat from Blade Runner, and then they kind of just started producing a million Doctor Who coats that no one gave a shit about, and then they realized it was cheaper just to produce, like, I don't know, gloves or scarves or something? Anyway, the whole thing went belly up. That company is shit. Give me something for the pain and leave me to die. Oh, yeah, there you go. Zach Frisbee says, pay lip service to the masters again, and then it will speed up. Okay, wait a second. I don't know if you've seen this meme, but I don't care. You need to see this meme. And you're going to see my cool-ass skull pajamas. Ugh. This is my oldest pair of goddamn pajamas. I have, like, 2 pair. One for the summer. Well, no, that's not true. These are the intermediary pair. I got a pair for the summer. No, it's not true. I don't know where the fuck those pair went, but I could really use them. They were really light. I liked them. Pair for the summer, pair for the autumn, and a pair for winter. Oh, yeah, baby. Alcohol's back. Let's see if I still have it pulled up. Here we fucking go. Okay. I can't do a good Joe Biden, but I okay. Now, this is, I don't know if you've seen this copy pasta. It's shown up in a few places, and it is one of my favorite things that I've ever read in my entire goddamn life. Now, in Joe Biden's voice. Listen here, Jack, let me set you straight. This thing isn't going anywhere. Back in my day, we didn't call it, and I can't use that word, we didn't call it blank, whatever, we called it the Shanghai Shivers. Now, I used to know a guy, went by the name of Cornflake Jackson. Old Cornflake used to play guitar down at the pool hall. Here's the deal, fat. I don't know why. Fat? It's like, here's the deal, like Jack, but instead he just calls you fat. Here's the deal, fat. Or here's the deal, fat. Oh, I get it. Like, here's the real deal. Here's the deal, fat. If Cornflake Jackson says the Shanghai Shivers ain't no thing, and you can take that to the bank, buckaroo, that's how I know you're full of shit. I'd punch your daughter straight in the mouth. Like, if that is not the sound, if that is not how Joe Biden conducts himself, sweet alcohol in my brain.
making things feel less horrific than they really goddamn are. So I guess Joe Biden already knows that the Shanghai Shivers ain't no thing, thanks to old Cornflake Jackson. RXC Gaming says, Tolstoy, I just wanted to say, love you, my man, and hope you're doing okay. Thanks for the love. I'm not, but what can I do about it? Fuck. Well, file your goddamn tax returns and wait for them sweet Trump bucks. Stephen Knight says, what's up, Tolstoy fam? Stephen Knight's in. Zach Frisbee says, D-Live and BitChute, you're welcome. I guarantee ain't no one coming off of this site to see me. We already tried this once before. I remember that saga. And, like, everyone went, and just continued to shriek because, like, Tolstoy moved to a different website, which was a failed website. Now that website doesn't fucking exist anymore, which means a whole, like, about 10 videos now aren't there. But, hey, that site was fairer than YouTube. I'll be real with you, you know? Sukabliet says, every time I see them shoving the cities behind empty, I hear the save room theme from RE2. What? Every time I see them showing, I'm not that fucked up. I swear to God, it's one beer. And literally, I started going through flashcards that pertain to my job just to make sure that I'm still staying fucking sharp. Isn't that weird and psychotic? But I forgot one of the key elements, and I was like, oh my God. Like, when I couldn't remember the name of one, I was like, oh my God, this is insane. Kazlab says, I would be okay with a regular Tolstoy FF7 review of you in front of the camera talking about your history with FF7. Oh no, but you're going to get better than that. It's me, not in front of the camera. It's my voiceover. Bro, straight up, like, the Pelican case is behind me. Why does that matter? Because I realize I'm actually trying to be somewhat professional with this. I'm actually putting, like, gold. I'm not, doing, this is me at 100%. Like, this is me, doing this live stream shit, this is like 5%. Like, I don't even give a fuck. Like, this is not even me trying. The FF7 review is going to be 100%. I'm about maybe halfway done editing, but I really got to go back and add more. The script is wrong. I'm going to rewrite it and re-record it. When I was recording it, I realized that the camera doesn't sound as good without a wall of foam around it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't have, like, a professional... Now, I should have a pop screen, but, like, is there a cheap way to make one? Well, anyway. So, essentially, I just took the foam from the box, and I bent the foam and laid it here, and I emailed myself the script so I could hold my phone in the foam, and read the script. And it's turning out okay. I wish I could give you a sample. I'm pretty happy with this. I mean, is it as good as actual video game reviewers on the interwebs? Fuck no. The problem is, and I can't wait for you all to scream, but I'm going to end up probably not uploading this to YouTube. Well, yes, YouTube, but I'm going to probably basically put it on Patreon. Yeah, there's a horrific paywall of $1. And I'm sure 3 people will show up. Kazlab, I'm pretty sure you're one of the people who donate to me on Patreon. Therefore, I'm fairly certain you'll see it. If you are the only one who sees it, then job well goddamn done. But that being said, I'm enjoying using the editing and using the visual, using the footage that I get off my PlayStation 4. It's keeping me sober during the day. You know what I'm saying? Like, we all gotta... Fuck. We all gotta have something. Oh, fuck, I just realized it's like the equivalent of my Marwin. Fuck. Arrowbed. Not even sure if that's how you pronounce that name. There's like a little enunciator. What do you actually call that? Fuck. Like, what is the genre? You know what I'm saying? Like, F me. I used to know the name of that thing. That mark in Spanish that looks yay. Fuck me. Yay. Or the umlaut, for example. Say, well, it's... And it changes the inflection of how you would say it. Fuck, I don't remember the genre of, of what that is. It's not punctuation. But anyway, he says, now that it's the end, I can finally watch your streams. Exactly. You can at least see Tolstoy streams right before we all die of things. Apparently, I'm not allowed to say stuff. Stephen Knight says, have you ever played Final Fantasy 15? 15? They haven't made 15. I know you lying. Maybe you meant... That'd be 5, V before X. XV is 15. They haven't gone that fucking high. I hope they fucking haven't. Listen here, fat. Fucking Joe Biden. You're a fucking syphilitic moron. Alright, type in final... Oh my god, they've made 15 of them? No. Of course I haven't fucking done that. Look, man, I literally only like one Final Fantasy. It's 7. That's it. 6 gets an honorable mention. I know that it was cool in steampunk, but it was not ubiquitous to me growing up. I never even played FF7. Oh, well, wait for the review. Ugh. Dead serious, son. I'm about halfway done, but like I said, I've got to re-edit. It's going to be a bitch and a buzzsaw. Like, every clip, like, trying to figure out, all right, how am I going to exemplify the statement that I just made? It's almost like, writing your thesis or whatever. You look at the text, you look at the source, and you say, all right, what in here exemplifies what the fuck I just said? I just pulled some shit out of my ass, you know what I mean? Where it's just like, Final Fantasy is really about transgendered rights. And then you're like, how you gonna back that shit the fuck up? And you're like, well, you will notice that you can change between characters, and they're you know what I'm saying? You can like find examples in the text. Kazlab says, but if you want to go the extra mile with gameplay, then more power to you. Can't wait for the finished product. Word. Well, like I said, it's that and more. It's that and more. Part of me almost wanted to do more of a spoony style, long play with commentary, and then I remembered how well my Stalker reviews went over, and I realized, no, don't fucking do that. So I will not subject you to that shit. And then Pippin Falsey says, did you buy any expired beer lately? Enjoy by. Ha! July 20th. Did that say 19? The 19th of July 20th. No, I haven't. Speaking of which, is it time for another beer? It's definitely time for another beer. The last beer that I had was 20 minutes ago. Is it okay to have another one? Well, at that rate, beer every 20 minutes roughly means you'd be having 3 an hour. How long have I been streaming? Oh, God, 20 minutes. Yep. Nothing wrong with getting blackout drunk. I don't know why I just went to Crazy T. I should have been a fucking voice actor, man. Come on, people exonerate or love this crazy ass character that I've created. They deify this crazy ass character that I created. He's only ever done one skit. It's been one fucking skit. It was that one for the Cold Steel. Well, no, I think. Yeah, no, it's just that fucking thing. And then after that, people have just shouted Crazy T at me. And I keep on wanting to bring him back. I kind of wanted to do a Crazy T video where I was like selling my shit. And in an effort to get people to buy my shit, I was going to do a bit as Crazy T. And he was going to be all like, my name's Crazy T. And my wife's trying to take everything in the divorce. Therefore, everything must go. You know what I mean? Like, selling shit off so that his bitch wife can't take it from him or some shit like that. But, much like all of the, scripts for Tolstoy that I wrote, like, the best laid plans of mice and men, it won't come to fruition. God damn, they've made 15 Final Fantasies, and only one of which was good? Yep. Corona... Oh, fuck me. The actual person's name is... And, alright, well, that was a nice stream. Like, Instaband. Kokorain123 says, oh shit, Decker Jacket sounds great. Yeah. I don't know. It's not my thing. Steven Knight says, check out Code 8 on Netflix. Yeah, I tried to because I heard, what did I hear about it? That it was the way that Blank was supposed to be, and I can't remember what show, but it was a show that I liked. Either way, could not get into it. It literally couldn't give less of a shit about Code 8. It's still on my list, though. Zach Frisbee says, did he forget what state he's in again? Are you talking about me or are you talking about Joe Biden? Because the answer is yes for Joe Biden. For me, I'm pretty sure I'm still in North Carolina. I would say unfortunately, but it's actually an okay state. I got used to it. It's just the soil and the pine trees. I'm in a weird area. Really, honestly, it kind of is a beta virgin version. Say that 3 times fast. Beta virgin version of Tennessee. Yeah, well, Tennessee's soil is also rock hard, so their soil's fucked up too. Then why do they get better trees than we do? Everyone's like, why is Tolstoy having a drunken mental breakdown about the tree quality? It matters to me. As much as I'm not really a big fan of Tolkien's work, I agree with the motherfucker. Trees are important. I like trees. Kazlab says, so you scheduled to get your Trump bucks? Not yet. How do I know when that's coming in? Do I have to file this year's tax returns, or is it based off of last year's tax returns? What I have heard is that if you have, if you automated or, direct deposited your last year's tax returns, that it's dependent upon that, and it will, it'll become automatic. So I'm assuming mine is automatic. But I should really check into that. I think there's a website that helps me figure it out. Either way, Trump bucks, could really use the Trump bucks. Nerd Room Collectibles says Quarantine Gang. And then someone beneath that says, Yang Gang Trump version. Aw. Fuck, man. Then Nerd Room Collectible says The Outer Worlds needs to fucking drop on Switch. Fuck the Switch. Fuck Nintendo. Like, y'all playing the same goddamn game that, well, no, the GameCube wasn't total shit. It actually had good games. Which, by the way, I recently found out that the reason that Resident Evil 4 appeared on the GameCube exclusively for like a year was because Sony did something to piss off Team Resident, or whatever the fuck it is, not Konami. Capcom, you fucking retard. They pissed off Capcom. So Capcom said, we'll take our business then to Xbox, and the translators from Microsoft was so fucking bad that for some reason they just sat there smiling like idiots during the business meeting, and then the president of Capcom, or whoever, the vice president, the person who was in charge of this shit, got so fucking pissed off that he just went straight to Nintendo headquarters after that and was all like, we will give you exclusive rights to Resident Evil 4, which was, by the way, one of the greatest games of all time! So, like, imagine that, like... And by the way, man, I was a happy little purple lunchbox owner. But that being said, yeah, Nintendo lost favor with me a long goddamn time ago. So, fuck the Switch, Although there are some things that come out of it I'm, like, absolutely fucking surprised about. Like, did they? No. Yeah, if my memory serves me, did they put Skyrim on that shit? Because... all right, then. Clive Winston says, the true Tolstoy assassins will follow to the ends of the internet. Why? Why, Clive? Why do you keep on bringing up this old horror? Which, by the way, the Final Fantasy VII review includes some classic footage from videos that are no longer available, and it was horrible for me to edit that. My voice was higher pitched back then for a couple of reasons. I assume that... I don't know. I assume that my voice has gotten slightly more, we'll put this as sultry, because of having, this sounds bizarre, but having my wisdom teeth taken out. I think if I understand harmonics correctly, or I could just be exposing myself as a totally fucking retarded, whatever. If I understand harmonics correctly, with less shit to bounce off of, the wavelength sounds longer. Is that right? Like, it's the same, it's like if more of the holes are covered on a flute, it's higher pitched. If less, it's lower. Or I'm making shit up. That, or it's entirely possible that my voice is slightly lower now, or more sultry because I've smoked, like, heavily for a year. Actually, really, counting, hookah even more so. So, but fuck, watching myself on camera years ago, I was a dumpster fire. I mean, I still am. But ultimately, look, I went into homeschooling when I was like 15 because I couldn't dealing with the douchebags from my school and the general incompetence of the school staff. And, I mean, this is good in the sense that it informed my libertarianism. But this is also bad because, and I noticed this now, I was very, very poorly socialized, like a dog that's never been around other dogs, like, you know what I'm saying? And I realized that my social skills have grown greatly since then, and I don't come off as so much of a spurg because I've gotten out into the real world and talked to people, and that. So, fuck, watching old Tolstoy. Why? Such good fucking beer. God damn it. Where is this brewed? I think I remember this. It's Utah. Asheville, North Carolina. Look at that shit. North Carolina, rise up. Take your shirt off. Wrap it around your hand. Wave it like a helicopter. North Carolina, come on and rise up. Anyway, sorry. Gotta get some PD Pablo out there. Nerd Room Collectible says, I just want to play on the toilet. Like, goddamn. Play it on the toilet? Well, Huh. That's actually... No. I understand. That's an argument. It's interesting. Because essentially, one of the theories that, as of about maybe 5 years ago or so, that I was rocking and I still sort of adhere to, is that handheld consoles are dead. The 3DS was essentially pretty much a flop-ish, and obviously the PS Vita was a dumpster fire. And, well, I kind of see that, yeah, I do see your point, that the Switch does kind of stand as like a weird, it stands in the face of that, that judgment. Steven Knight says, ever watch Outlaw Star, the old school anime?
No.
No, I do know what you're talking about, but I never got into Outlaw Star. It's one of the classics, but I never watched it. What? Well, good for you. Caslab says, still watching Cells at Work? Nah, I kind of fell out of that. It's on my list. The last Netflix thing that I recently watched was... I rewatched the movie 9, if you haven't seen it. It was that weird, I believe it was a kind of a passion project with some dude who was trying to break into the industry, and I think he was working with the production team that worked with Tim Burton. And it's very dark, it's very stylistic, and very interesting. And honestly, when I saw it when I was younger, Christ, I'm sorry, I'm watching myself on the feed, and I can see when I turned my head, and I see how patchy and horrific the beard looks. And I need to fucking shave, but honestly, I'm waiting for the quarantine to go away before I do that. It's like my victory dance. I need the fucking shit to go away. Also, I want to get my head shaved. Oh, fuck. Anyway, so yeah, the last thing I recently watched was 9. Look into that. I have a newfound... When I first saw it, I didn't like it. I now really like it, actually. It kind of works as a narrative. I don't know why I hated it before. Maybe I think I wanted more exposition, or I didn't like the magical answer for why there are magic-talking sack people. But now I'm just like, motherfucker, what would you want? They're sack people. Is it not going to be magical? Do you think it won't be magical? Like, it was pretty obvious, obviously. Andrew Wilson says, hi, Tolstoy. How's it going? You wish you could go out hiking, and quick question, do you think this is the apocalypse? Oh, my Christ. I don't know, man. I don't know. And yes, I wish I could go hiking. Of fucking course. Technically, I kind of do, because I'm in an area that has access to, like, miniature parks that are... It takes... I don't know. Fuck it. Now it takes like 45 minutes to cross them. No, less than that. 30 minutes. About that. 30 minutes, half hour. But No, it's still a thing. You know what I mean? It's like there are like a couple of miles across, as it were. But you know, but also it takes several hours to get there because I don't take a car there. I'm hiking there, which means I'm walking my fat ass up a highway. And yeah, I've just been setting up a little my hammock, and I've been reading books. Probably gonna do that tomorrow to sweat off all the booze. It's not real hiking though. Yeah, I do miss it. Clive Winston says sock as a pop filter. Huh? Really? I have a sock. Is this a bundle? Yeah. God damn. Are these the good ones? Yeah, these are Dickies. Yeah, these are good. Why do I have this on the goddamn floor? I am an animal. Let's see how this works. Ooh, that doesn't... So, wait, you just hold it up? Oh, okay. So, and I will tell you now, fellow children, that if you were to... Yeah, and so I see what that's... Yeah, all right. Fair enough, fair enough. Steven Knight says, is FF7 that good? I've seen the gameplay and seen the reviews, and it looks solid, but do you think it's worth me getting a used PS4 to play? I haven't had a FF fix since FF15. Well, yes. Oh, if you liked FF15 and you need that fix, well, then this is for you, bucko. But I personally would not have even purchased the game. Again, it's you know, it's all in KazLab. But if you're jonesing and this is the only thing that can scratch it, then it's decent. I'm enjoying it so far. That's all I can tell you. Because I don't want to spoil things. I just everything bumped, and then I see the lady who basically got me smoking says, "It's the smoking. Your voice is deeper because of the smoking." So what you're saying is keep smoking. Yeah, I thought about that, about how it scars your fucking shit and makes you sound fucking better, and it tastes delicious. We're scrolling back up. Scroll up. KazLab says, just remember to add a segment that has your personal history. Motherfucker, I am Tolstoy. How you telling Tolstoy how to not have a 20-minute rant about his history? Well, I keep it within check. It's about, I don't know, it's a couple minutes where I describe, you know, how FF7 has affected me, you know, kind of thing. Now you just need to be patient. Be patient. I show you how it is. Clive Winston says, any special plans for the 20th? God damn, I'm so dumb. I was like, of this month? Nothing happens on the 20th. Oh, yeah. Nah, Clive, you know that I don't partake in that. You know. And for people, well, what's psychedelic day? What's acid day, essentially? Bicycle day, I'm sorry. F me. But I think it's also in April, but I think we already passed that. KazLab says, did you ever watch Ed, and Eddie? Did you ever watch the film finale that was released in 2009? Yes, and yes, of course. I grew up on Ed, and Eddie. Come on now, son. By the way, that was the last hand animated television show aired in America. Yep. There you go. Matt Ass has the right. He says, I think the symbol in Spanish, that thing is called a tilde. That's right. It is a tilde. So the tilde and the umlaut are in a genre called, an accent. There you go. I think he answered it. An accent, right? It's accented by an umlaut. Yeah? Well, anyway. Oh, Jesus Christ. Zach Frisbee says, FF15 Fast and Furious films, same difference. Bro, and by the way, that's why I know Max loved them. I'm waiting for him to come into the stream so I can talk shit. Steven Knight says, gonna be depressed as fuck when I beat Prey. Shaking my head, dude. Yeah. The recoil from Prey is heinous. The ending is, well, anyway, you do your thing. I'm not gonna spoil it for you. Kazlab208 says, I also thought you got into Final Fantasy 12 on the PS2 back in the day. That's part of the... Wait. Oh, I think I cut that part out of the script because it was just like I did not want to look for footage of Final Fantasy 12. I don't know how kosher it is to harvest footage that you yourself haven't recorded. You know, I don't know how cool that is, so I'm avoiding them. I'm avoiding that shit like the fucking plague. Steven Knight says, Final Fantasy is about some angel cloning and different dimensional BS. I think, lol. I never really understood it at all. You talking about the original Final Fantasy? Or what are we talking about? Kazlab says the cursing in FF7 remake is putting off a lot of gaming journalists. I'm sorry. I'm so. What? The what? Like, okay. First of all, gaming journos aren't even journos. They're neither gaming. They're neither gamers nor journalists. Also, I love the swearing. It's so PG-13 keen. The F word is never broken out. But just every so often, you know, I mean, Barrett goes like, God damn it! And, you know, fucking Cloud goes, this shit. You know what I mean? And I'm like, aw, you're cute. You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck? And go, I can't hear these words that I don't like in my ear holes. Like, fuck off you fuck with that shit. Christ. Yeah, game journos are not even people. Your daily... Ooh, fuck. That's a statement. I can see tomorrow, like, headlines are going to be like, Tolstoy is journalistist. And therefore, is a ne'er-do-well. Clive Winston says, how much do you know about C.G. Young? You're talking about, Carl Jung. A lot of people only know him from his Jordan Peterson. Just he is much more interesting than that. Well, Carl Jung, I guess you should ask Carl Jung how much he knows about Taoism. Clive Winston then says, can you still do the Sackboy voices? I don't know. It's been a long fucking time. But Tolstoy, is that right? No, is that right? Is that right for the voice? I don't even know. But Tolstoy, I don't think that you could. And then there's Dog Tolstoy. Don't fuck with him, because he's gonna rape you in your jail cell. I think that's it. That's the best you're gonna fucking get. I swear to God. I hope that was good enough for you. Off you fuck. Zach Frisbee says Crazy T came back with the H&R partner. Good stuff. That is right. I forgot. Yeah. So he does cameos, but I still always wanted to do another skit with Crazy T. That was a great side shoot character. Which, by the way, I find that nobody took that character and thought that I was trying to be that character, but because you put on an accent and you wrote a script. Well, you didn't write a script. You were just being funny. Yeah. But the point is that everyone thinks that that I was this like true blue neckbeard, and nobody thinks that I was this true blue, psycho cowboy. And I'm just like, well, you see, they're fictional characters. Granted, I took one of them way too goddamn seriously, but, I mean, I was a young man, and the internet gave me fame, and I had never had... I mean, I was a fucking nerd that you gave fame to. Christ, it's like giving a hobbit the one ring of power. You see how this works. Ultimate X James says, well, I enjoyed Resident Evil Afterlife. What's wrong with you? Steven Knight says, you should watch this mind-blowing parody of Ed and Eddie called Jawbreaker. Yeah, I Meat Canyon. I'm already aware of Meat Canyon. I watch his stuff. I don't know how I feel about it. On the edge of just some of it is funny. Kazlab208 says, how far did you get into Pokemon Alpha Ruby and Omega Sapphire? Finished? Are you asking me if I didn't finish a Pokemon game? You want to take it outside? Kazlab then says, did you ever think about trying the other PS1 Final Fantasy 8 and 9? Yeah. I tried to play 8. My thoughts are pretty much in tune with Spoonies. So you go ahead and you watch the Spoonie, of Final Fantasy 8. You got it. Steven Knight says, ever watch The Misfits on Hulu? No. Kane the Warlock says, they made more than 15 because 10 has a sequel called 10-2, and 13 was 3 games with a kind of overarching story. Goddamn. So much autism, so little time, baby. The Blind Bard says, hey, Tolstoy, ever consider doing a live-streamed Discord voice chat? kind of like TK podcast. Yeah, we already did that shit, and I published that video. If you go back and look at the blind bar now, we were having conversations this afternoon. With that being said, we've already done that shit. So if you go back and rewatch my catalog, it's fucking there. I still have an entire other session of that to edit. The problem being that it's hard to fucking edit, my guy. Like, without incriminating everyone. You know what I mean? Clive Winston says, I think it's 2018 taxes. Not entirely sure. Right. I had heard it's 2018 taxes. That's what I had heard. So, like, I need the Trump bucks. I need the Trump bucks. Zach Frisbee says, GameCube had some gems. That's affirmative. Yeah. And I bounced right to the GameCube right after losing, essentially, you know, right after realizing that no more games were going to be made for the Dreamcast. So you see, my entire gaming, career when I was, in my formidable years, 14, 15 was just like, fuck, every console that I like, they're going to cancel, you know what I mean? Or they're is not going to have access to hardcore gaming titles that I would have enjoyed. My brother had a PS2, but it fried. And, like, that was legitimately the point where we realized, like, and you know what? It's funny. We didn't try to get it fixed. We were just like, oh, I guess Sony doesn't want our money then. Because he'd only had it for, like, 3 years. Like, that's no small shit. Let me tell you to you straight, fat. That's no small shit. You buy a console, you expect that shit to roll. Oh, only 3 years? Oh, I guess get fucked. Like, we just looked at him and we're like, gay. So, he tucked into his Xbox, so any PS2 exclusive I wasn't going to see. So, I tucked into my GameCube, and that's just how it was. You know what I'm saying? So, essentially, what I'm saying is, like, when I was a loyal little Nintendo fag, and they released the Wii, and I quickly realized, oh wow, this is bullshit. And after that, I had a PS3, and PS3 was dope, and I had a PS4, and it's always worked. And since then, the reliability of Sony has been okay. And I obviously had a bunch of PSPs. They were decent, so you know. Kazlab 208 says, the reason was because Capcom hated developing for the PS2 because it was hard to program for. That's why they went for Nintendo, because it was easier to make games for. That's not the story that I heard. I heard it had to do with internal politics and Japanese people. Also, is it time for another beer? I do believe, if I do say so myself. Ha! Death. Yeah, yes, good power. Yeah, I know. Well, my life is shit, so there's that. I don't know if you know this, but my life is in fact shit. Oh, interesting. That French-Canadian guy says Resident Evil 4 is getting a remake, by the way. I had seen the stirrings of this, and it has excited me sexually. We'll see how they do. I haven't played RE3 yet, for obvious reasons. You know, I mean, if there was a fan that wanted to buy me RE3, I would review it on Patreon. Alright, I'm sorry, I had to try. Anyway, but I liked RE2, so we'll see how they do. I'm actually okay with it, you know? Kazlab says, that's how we also got Beautiful Joe, Killer 7, and RE4 as the GameCube exclusives for a short period. I do remember that. Yep. Now I remember the video that I saw. They basically Capcom promised them a slew of exclusives, which, by the way, were fucking amazing. Steven Knight says, have you played Outer Worlds? My brother did, I think, to completion. It bored me. I do not like space. It is not a thing that which is weird, right? Because Prey did it right. System Shock, 2 did it right. I really only like a handful of adventures in space. Star Wars is okay. What's that other one where with all right goes into space. Yeah, Interstellar. You know, it's okay. A couple of them do okay. You know, fucking Event Horizon was good. Yeah. Nerd Room Collectibles says Skyrim is in fact there, laughing my ass off. That's so weird to think about. How something from, well, it's last gen. Oh, well, yeah, it's last gen, which means that the Switch should not be powerful enough to play it because it's a Nintendo console, and they just love being the 22LR for children. They like being the BB gun, you know, of the gaming industry, and it's just like, Christ, I'm surprised that their shitbox can play that. RXC Gaming said, why don't y'all make some actual games for the 3DS? The Game Boy used to be the unstoppable juggernaut that had, like, a library on it that would put the PS1, give it a run for its money. Fucking 3DS, we got 3 RPGs and Pokemon, which is also an RPG. Like, RXC Gaming says, the Switch actually isn't that bad a console. Has a lot of third-party support. Nerd Room Collectible says, actually, BioShock Trilogy is coming to... Lift your beer first. No! Fuck me, you're kidding me. Also, sock of shame. Ugh. Christ. Yep. Yes, well, that didn't help at all. I'm gonna be sounding like a stuffy-nosed fucking third grader. Wow. Okay. Nerd Collectibles he's fighting back against me talking shit. He says, well, actually, BioShock Trilogy is coming to it. Okay, great. They get last generation shit. Metro already came. Oh, let me guess, a 2D side scroller? I'm assuming. Or is it a rehash of Metro 3 for the last game, for the last console for Wii? And Borderlands is coming too. Oh, good. Last generation shit. I'm glad you can play last generation shit on your Wii box or whatever it's called. He says, so I gotta buy a bunch of that shit that I already bought again. Well, then you fucking get my reason for hating. Hate. Clive Winston says, dude, I used to have RE4 Leon haircut. That haircut's a baller haircut, son. I hope that you scored all the bitches with that fucking haircut. Nothing wrong with that. Christ, amigo. Kane the Warlock says, I always notice that some people's voice on YouTube gets higher after a while of making videos. Brewstew and Salmonella are good examples of this off the tip of my head. He says tip of my head. I think he meant top of my head. Wow, that's horrific. I haven't noticed that trend. Like I said, mine's the opposite. I definitely noticed that my voice got deeper, but I don't know what from, and if... Well, like I said, cigarettes are probably a good thing, or probably a good, not a good thing, oh Christ, probably a good explanation. Fuck. Just go. Hey, look, Hal's in the chat. I'm sure he will text me tomorrow about all the horrible shit that I accidentally said in a drunken stupor. He keeps me in check. Kane the Warlock says, I always notice that... Oh, skip. All right, read it. Kazlab says, thoughts on R. Kelly. Is he innocent? No. Fucking what? And then he says, oh shit, you watched 9? I watched that back in the day in the theaters. Surprised you liked it because I thought you hated Tim Burton's aesthetic. I do. I fucking do, but here's the issue. That's his production team, not him. He played no part in it. So... it has that dark aesthetic, but it doesn't come off as this weird emo, pandering bullshit. At the time, I thought it was. It's probably why I hated it. But in reality, I don't know. It's actually a pretty straightforward, just very dark, I would not say for children narrative, but I lump it in there with, like, Fuck. Thing with the bunny is trying to find a new home. Watership Down. A little bit like that. A little bit like that. It's hard. It's hard to place that. Nerd Room Collectible says, I just really miss the gym. Yeah, I know. Me too. We're all coping. We're all coping. Some of us by doing workouts and then drinking, which is that's effective. Kane the Warlock says, I wouldn't say the 3DS was a flop due to it selling 75 million units, literally just below the top 10 selling consoles at number 11. Yeah, well, it's shit. It's shit. Name 10 good games for it. Name 5 good games for it. Fuck, I own 2. I own 1 good game for it. No, 2. Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, and X and Y. That's it. Hal's in the chat. He says, we talking about weeb games? Always. We're talking about FF7 and how I'm apparently reviewing it. Because, God, editing. Nerd Room Collectible says, the interesting thing about Tolstoy is that, like... And then it just cuts off. Steven Knight says, ever play fighting games? I'm playing Tekken 7 right now. Oh, yeah. Played fighting games a little bit. My favorites, I never played Mortal Kombat. Didn't give a shit about it. My favorites were Street Fighter 2. Oh yeah, baby. And Tekken 2. Favorite characters were Blanka and respectively King. No, not. I mean, I know, you know, he's not just the lion hat. He's not a furry. He wears a suit. Come on now. Get out of here. Oh yeah, baby. Nerd Room Collectible says, I found you around 2011 in, like, the 5th grade. Christ. Stop dating us both, guys. Why do y'all like to do that? You're like, I was a fan of yours when I was, like, 10 years old. Stop! Like, don't do it. Why do you do that to me? Clive Winston says, sorry, the 19th is Bicycle Day. Any plans for that? If you can break quarantine and meet me in a national park in North Carolina, then I do have plans, my guy. Other than that, I'm probably going to either be drunk or be working out and trying to fix my fucking horrific life. Nerd Room Collective says, now your new attitude towards things resonates yet again. And then he says, fuck, man, it's been 9 years. Yeah. We got Lincoln in the house. It's your boy HP back at it with the fish people. Lincoln says, sup, Uncle T. If you aren't sure about video and images, take a look at EMP Lemons or EMP Lemons copyright metagame. Ooh, interesting. Well, I'm doing my best to avoid anything that isn't original, but is concept art of FF7 pretty much fair game? I mean, what is it, like 20 years old? More than that? It really is. Steven Knight says, are all Final Fantasies like about different people? Why is it called Final Fantasy? Who's the main character? And what connects them all together in the series-wise? Okay, I can actually answer that. I'm surprised you don't know. You played FF15. I assumed that you were like the most dedicated fan in the universe. The reason they call it Final Fantasy is that back in the day when they were called Squaresoft, before they merged with, I think they were just called Enix. They might have been called the Phoenix? Squaresoft with... Anyway, back in the day when they were called Squaresoft, they were about to go goddamn bankrupt. And they had enough resources to produce one more game that was based off of the Dungeons & Dragons model, and they did so, and it was called The Final Fantasy. Because they were like, this is it. And it was such a success, you know, such a successful series, they kept the name, but essentially, you know... And actually, FF7, they were about to go bankrupt again. So they harvested all their resources and pulled off one giant-ass Hail Mary into the goddamn end zones for that shit. So, pretty cool. Oh, gotta recline. There we go. John McCafferty says, can you get your sword, please? No, that would not be a good idea at this point in time, and I don't see a reason to do it. Kane the Warlock says, at Steven Knight, Final Fantasy got its name because the devs thought the original would be their last game. Yeah, there you go. Kane the Warlock says, also, every game has its own story or continuity. Yes. Then Steven Knight says, Meat Canyon gives me like a disturbed, fascinated, perplexed vibe, lol, and for some reason I can't get enough. He's okay, but he gives me kind of like shock. He's kind of like shock entertainment a little bit, you know what I mean? He goes for what he thinks is the most shocking a bit, and I don't really find that as entertaining. There are a lot of other animators that I actually like better than him who have done similar stuff and then kind of faded into obscurity because of YouTube's draconian bullshit. Nerd Room Collectibles says, fuck it, I'll unredact my message. Yeah, Spurgstoy resonated with me in 5th grade, laughing my ass off, and I kept up ever since. Christ. Spurgstoy. Why? Why would you say it? Why do you speak things to evil to light? Zach Frisbee says, did you ever play Rakion or MU Online? I don't know what either of those are. Lincoln says, you won't incriminate anybody if you left it unedited aside from a few censors. Also, Voss saying Voldemort? So confused. You remember that far back? You remember that stream that well? Caslab says, hey man, no one blames you for choosing the GameCube. That and the Dreamcast have the only versions of Skies of Arcadia. And oh god, there's literally a scene in the review for FF7 where I light an altar to my last copy of Skies of Arcadia. It might actually still be out there in the living room. I don't care to fetch it. You should take my word for it. Kane the Warlock says, what mainly connects the games are some characters having the same name, Sid. Right, yeah, the Chocobos. Right, well, they have similar themes and similar characters, but essentially each one is their own deal. Oh, and everything bumps. Zach Frisbee says, buy a console and expect it to roll. Xbox 360's first run just ended that man's career. Buy a console and expect it to roll. Xbox 360. Man, I don't get it. Maybe you're responding to some shit that I said like 10 minutes ago, but still. Steven Knight says, damn, bro, I miss Beautiful Joe. That shit was ahead of its time, and even as a cheesy 2D side-scroller. What's weird is that I actually never got a chance to play Beautiful Joe. It was on my list, I just never did. I think I saw a really sweet cosplay of him at Otakon 2004. Hell yeah. Steven Knight says, no, next one. Insert title says, what's the worst anime you've seen? Monster Musume, by a long shot. The name is just 00 or 00, but it looks like that. So that says, I never played RE, but RE3 made me realize how good it was. I don't know, man. I have things against the way that they changed the design of Jill Valentine. She looks like a goddamn child, and I don't think she's a Special Forces police officer. So there's that. I don't know. We'll see. Once it comes down in price, I'll talk about it. That's about it. Kane the Warlock says, the GameCube was not a juggernaut, only sold 20 million and wasn't that much of a success for theme. The Wii printed money for them, though. That was due to the casual focus. Yeah, well, that's why I didn't like the Wii. You know? Caslab says, did you ever watch Elfen Lied? I did. I watched it front to back. There's a better version of that called Ajin Demi-Human. Watch Ajin Demi-Human. Much better. Andrew Winslow says, Tolstoy show your brother on live. I like to see you make fun of him. No. Lincoln says, Elfin Laid was okay. Yeah, it was okay. Then Kazlab says, but I thought you liked Trapped in the Closet and the Weird Al parody. What are we talking about? That doesn't mean that I don't think that the motherfucker is guilty or a terrible artist. I watched Trapped in the Closet to understand it. That does not mean that I think that he's not guilty, and that doesn't mean that I enjoyed the music. And yeah, I like Weird Al, and his parodies. Fuck. Gotta pee. Fuck. Okay. The Blind Bard says 9 was a more depressing Little Big Planet. I have no argument against that. It's entirely possible. Stephen Knight says Tim Burton's aesthetic is like junior high emo goth, laughing my ass off. Looks dope to me though. You're kind of right, but like I said, it's not entirely Tim Burton. I believe it was his production team, and in conjunction with a dude who made some sort of weird art film in high school that just happened to be emo. Either way, sometimes you need some horrible, dark, and depressing in your life. Like when you play The Evil Within, you know? Stephen Knight also adds, you're definitely going to have to review FF7 Remake just for the culture of your people, too. Well, then they better donate to me on Patreon. I'm not even being a dick or holding it rants. I'm just being real. For this amount of work I'm putting, and also because it's not safe to put it on YouTube in case COPPA goes, that's for children. My fucking Patreon has an 18-year-older shield, and if it's behind a paywall, then I can literally argue in court, I was assuming that it was only adults who could pay to me, Your Honor. Therefore, I'm sure only 5 goddamn people are going to see it. Either pay your dollar or fuck off. Dead serious. Super sorry, guys. Nerd Room Collectible says, basically, even though it was a character, I guess the natural evolution of it reflected me getting more grounded in reality. I'm going to scroll back to see what the fuck he's talking about. Oh. What? You think that Tolstoy was grounded in reality? Oh, buddy. No. Stephen Knight says, King is a pro wrestler wearing a leopard mask, not a lion, laughing my ass off. But my main people back in the day were like Heihachi and Kazuya Jin, because devil powers, that's why. I don't know who those characters are. Lincoln says, as long as you're not passing it off and are talking over it with the image in the background, it falls under fair use. Wait, what? As long as you're not passing it off and are talking over it with the image in the back. Oh, okay. Well, that's what I'm doing. Thank God. But, again, sparingly. Kazlab says, did you ever watch FF7 Advent Children? Watch the goddamn review when it comes out, and you'll know. Because Lincoln says Newgrounds still has plenty of animators. Oh God, Newgrounds is still active? I wasn't even aware. A lot of their animators branched out into YouTube and then got their shit slapped. And everything jumped. And the house is jumping. Stevie Knight says, FF7 Advent Children was pretty dope. I watched the dubbed and lip sync was almost comedy to me. I had to go back and watch the dub back in the day, and I enjoyed it more. Look, man, Advent Children was trash. I don't think it was a good thing for the FF7 universe. I think Crisis Core was a much better thing for the FF7 universe. But, look, man, I don't know. Have you not? Oh, you haven't played FF7, the remake. It's Advent Children, the game, not faggy. It's pretty fucking good. It's your game then. If you're that into FF7 that you would actually sit through Advent Children, it's your time. Step on up. Kane the Warlock says, I don't like Meat Canyon. It feels like the same joke of, oh, look, the kid thing is being creepy. I don't even find it unnerving, like David Firth's shit salad fingers. Yeah, word. It feels like he's being edgelordy. There's a couple of decent... I thought the Jawbreaker one was good. McDonald's was interesting. If nothing else, it unnerves me. A couple of the episodes. Actually, all of his episodes. But some of them are in poor taste. I guess that's what a weakling says. I don't like it. Therefore censor it. Well, I'm not asking for it to be censored. I'm just saying I would not actively enjoy watching it over and over again. I thought that his take on Yu-Gi-Oh! Was funny. Past that, not that big a deal. I'm not enjoying it as much. Kane the Warlock says, God damn, I keep recycling the same shit because I need to start highlighting. Can I highlight? Yeah, buddy, I can. Kazlab says, oh man, you watched Monster Musume? Did Vas trick you into that? No, it was a guy named Henry. And he just wanted me to watch the opening to Monster Musume, but I greatly... No. Kane the Warlock says, maybe because shitty creepypastas did the same back... Kane the Warlock says, maybe because shitty creepypastas did the same shit in 2011. Fair enough. Kazlab208 says, who's the best girl in Elfen Lied? Oh, son, I don't remember the characters in Elfen Lied. I don't care. No, I don't care. I don't remember any of them, so. Steven Knight says, Elfen Lied and Evangelion were both ahead of their time and should have expanded more, I think. May they rest in peace. Well, I don't know anything about Evangelion, but Elfen Lied was... It was like Saw. It got off on being shocking. That's about it. Rosbiden says, if you were forced to spend the rest of your life studying the works of only one philosopher figure, who would it be? God damn! Rosbiden! You! Ask the questions. But I need some wine for this. Zoop. And this is the point where everything goes belly the fuck up for Tolstoy. And I'll probably delete this live stream in the morning, but I don't give a fuck. Now, to answer your question. Only one philosopher. Well, we're going to have to define philosopher, but I have a pretty good idea of who you're talking about. Who? I don't like Kierkegaard. I don't like Kant. Oh, it's going to be Nietzsche. Fuck. Yeah, that was actually a really easy answer. I'm super sorry. It's Nietzsche. He's kind of a faggot, but he's my faggot. Damn. I thought it'd be more interesting than that. And my brain was like, are you retarded, Nietzsche? Yeah? Yeah, pretty... Socrates, if he counts. Socrates is actually more my homeboy, but he was also from farther along. He was like from way farther back in history, and I'm just not sure that consciousness was the same back then as it is now, so I don't necessarily know that he can accurately... Do you? I mean, you can read the... Oh, my Christ. I don't know. That depends on if you think that consciousness was the same thousands of years ago as it is now. What if it was different, and what if they just thought differently? This sounds like a drunken, retarded thought. It actually matters. Look into the theory of the bicameral mind. Fuck you. Fuck you, faggot. Kane the Warlock says, I liked Evangelion, but Elfen Lied felt edgy. Yeah, that's about right. Just so it can be the anime that extreme weebs point to and say, see, it's not for kids. Well, fair enough. We all have to do that these days. We all have to act fucking psychotic so that YouTube won't... Anyway. Put the wine bottle back top. Do, 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 do. Rice wine, rice wine. You make everything so fine. Stephen Knight says, I'm having this weird craving to watch the original Full Metal Alchemist, not Brotherhood. I don't know why. Maybe because the last time I watched it, I was 18. I'm 26. Huh. Well, that's a good timeline. Sounds about right. Time to go back and rewatch it if you want some darkness. Lincoln says, not really. I uploaded Kingdom Hearts and Rhyme, along with a couple other games, and I still haven't had an issue with Kappa. The point is that if you're like, oh, wow, I didn't get nailed. Well, if you do get nailed, you are fucked up. Then he says, just set it as not for kids when you upload it. Yeah, well, if I'm going to work this hard, I kind of feel like maybe they should be behind a paywall, so there's that. You can hate me all you fucking want. I've already spent 5 hours this morning, at least. I can tell you that. I woke up at 10 o'clock, started editing, started working out at 3. That's 5 hours. 5 hours of editing. And it's still not done. Maybe I'm a terrible editor, or making these fucking reviews is harder than we all think. I don't know. Steven Knight says, I'll donate some funds for FF7 for fucking sure, bud. All right, like I said, it only takes $1. Go to the Patreon and put in $1, and I swear to God, it'll probably be up there in about, I don't know. I don't want to say 10 days. But at the rate that I'm moving, ish. Ligadin says, Newgrounds is still full of new games, art, music, and animations. I recommend going back to it when you get a chance. I don't know. It just doesn't feel right. I don't know. Kane the Warlock says, they actually remade FF7's models because they realized that the Advent Children models are too old at this point. Could they have used those? That's interesting. I mean, I don't see why not, but it's interesting. Malong Johnson says, Oni, NG, and Psychic Pebbles is way better than me. Yeah, boy, and those are the OGs. Fucking Oni. Everyone remembers fucking Oni. Yeah, I think he did Dragon's Ball P. Fucking Dragon's Ball P. I hope they don't hit each other too hard. You know what I mean? He says that Psychic Pebbles is way better than Meat Canyon. Meat Canyon on just straight rips off their style and vids, and he's openly admitted to it. Congrats to Zach Hadel for getting a show on Adult Swim. Whoa, what show did any of the normies or did any of the outcasts get on Adult Swim? Interesting to think about. Lincoln says, yeah, Smiling Friends just got greenlighted. Smiling Friends? Well, this we gotta see about, boys. This we gotta see about. Look at that. That's what got greenlit? Okay. I just took one look at the animation and was like, oh, wow, of all of the good animators like that fucking Malong Johnson just listed, and that's what got greenlit? Yeah, that figures. I would literally take Meat Canyon over that. But okay. Steven Knight says, only character I remember in Elfen Lied is Ren or Rin, I think. I don't know. I have the same catharsis, which is may they rest in peace. Laugh out loud. Yeah, it's been a long time. I don't remember any of them. I always just assumed that none of their lives goddamn mattered because, like, LOL, you know? Cuthbert Balkrach. That's his motherfucker's name. Says, do you have any particular field of science you enjoy studying? Yeah, man. History, psychology, anthropology. Those are some big ones. Long Johnson says, the pilot of Smiling Friends is better than the entirety of Rick and Morty. Oh, well. Cyber Monkey says, Schopenhauer is my favorite. What do you think of him? I've literally never heard of him. I would have to do some research. Stephen Knight says, when I was 12 to 13, I would go to Newgrounds and type adult animation, and I thought I had discovered a new dimension, laughing my ass off. I never did that. I mean, I knew there was some nudity, but I never looked to see if there was, like, hentai-esque stuff there. I'm assuming that's what's there. Lincoln says, it's on Adult Swim's website if you want to check it out. You know, I just, like, looked at it. Didn't seem too impressive. And then he says, R.I.P. Psychic Pebbles did the art and voice acting. Really? That fucking sucks. What was Psychic Pebbles known for? One of my favorite animators was Max Gilardi, and he did, all the Pony Dot Mobs, and then he tried to do some new stuff, which I really enjoyed, which was more just kind of him reviewing stuff, and I'm cool with that. Max Gilardi is probably my favorite. Trying to remember the others. What did Psychic Pebbles do? Speedo Sausage is a good one, by the way. Oh, look at that. First one that comes up. Oh. Psychic Pebbles. I think I've seen a couple of his works, but I didn't really give too much of a shit. Like, he did not impress me as much as the others. Stephen Knight says, there is nothing better than Rick and Morty's guys. Just calm down, LOL. Oh, shit. Kazlab then says, do you still stand by Penn and Teller? Abso-fucking-lutely. They were great artists, pretty decent philosophers, if I do say so myself, and good dudes. They're just getting old. It's hard to watch them get old. You know what I mean? I sometimes see some videos of Penn and Teller fooled me, and kind of hard to watch because they're getting older. There was another good animator from Australia. What the fuck was his name? Oh, fuck. Something about lewd... Oh, fuck. He was so insane. He would never go goddamn mainstream. It had to do with lobsters. Sexual Lobster, but he had to change his name. There it fucking is. Greasy Tails. Now he goes by Greasy Tails. But either way, look into fucking Greasy Tails. If you really want some, like, Meat Canyon-esque shit that is shock humor, but actually is more, I don't know how to say it, like, not laid back, but like, actually funny? I don't know. Has better writing. Not sure what to say. Kazlab says, well, Penn Jillette did almost die of a heart attack 10 years ago. That's why he lost all that weight. Yeah. Malone Johnson says, did the maker of Rick and Morty say that 80 million people needed to die because of overpopulation? No, he didn't even say because of overpopulation. He said because they were Nazis. He claimed it because they did not vote correctly that 80 million people needed to die, a third of the United States population. So, I don't care for Rick and Morty creator. I think he's a fucking just spilled sake on myself. Christ. I think that he is a... Well, anyway. Don't even get me going. That being said... Yeah. Where's the sock of shame? Here we go. Where's the fucking sock of shame here? Well, he's a fat fucking communist piece of shit who should probably be killed. You know, I mean, or lose his job. Christ knows. Went on a drunken tirade that if he was not part of the correct political order would have cost him his life. But, you know, hey, whatever. Fucking, I don't give a shit. Fuck. Anyway. You know what? For a long time, I didn't watch Rick and Morty, the latest season, because I did not want to participate in his bullshit. And then my brother was like, well, you know, you don't have to like his bullshit to participate in it. I said, okay. And I tried to watch, I think it was like half the season of like the latest season of Rick and Morty, and it was just such bullshit. Just it was so god awful that I was like, all right, this is fucking terrible. I heard he replaced half his writing crew with more of a diverse cast. So, you know, long story short, it's shit. He's gay. So there's that. I read that. French Canadian guy says he just released a video like days ago. Who was talking about? Sexual lobster? G Blue Cheese says, Tolstoy, you gonna open an OnlyFans? Yeah, that's one of those new Zoomer terms. I don't know what it means, but I think it's like one of those like, is it a Snapchat? Where like you can see nudes, but you have to pay them for it, but it's like it's an only thing. Like I don't know, it's a Zoomer thing, so I don't fucking know. Lincoln says he still goes by Sexual Lobster on Newgrounds, laughing my ass off. This is oh my fucking god at Blue Cheese. Sarah says Billy Gates is supposedly into population control as well. I've heard that. You know what's interesting? That Sears sells wood chippers. Now hang on there. Listen to what I have to say. So these wood chippers come with slow settings, and you know, I'm just, you know, fucking, I don't know. I'm just saying things, you know. I'm just saying. Calm down, you know. Sometimes, you know, fucking stick him in the goddamn wood chipper. Lost my place. Here we go. Giovanni Guzzi says, Pickle Rick will be my hell. Sorry to hear that, son. I'm sorry to hear that it affects you so greatly that you're stuck in fucking hell. Malone Johnson says, I still can't find an article or video about him saying it, though. Are you high? I watched the video unless Juggle decided to censor that. Woo!
Arguing there's no such thing as privilege. So you're a white male that thinks there is such a thing, genders and things, and if there's a bunch of white dudes in the front, it appears to make a difference, and I think that's really important. So, so what are we doing here? I don't know. Yeah, they're at LAX right now. You have to take breaks.
Ooh, that means they scrubbed it for him. Y'all know what that means, kids. Narrative change. Oh, that's fine. This is fine. Okay. I'll find you, motherfucker. You trying to hide? Ooh, you can't hide that fat ass from me, boy. Ooh, Leroy's coming for it. I'm gonna find the goddamn direct quote, you fucking fat ass shitbag cocksucker. I'll find you, bitch. give up. Yeah, they scrubbed it. Fuck me. I literally watched the goddamn video. I can remember it like almost play by play. He says, you don't talk to cancer and 80 million. He said 1/3 of Americans are Nazis and we gotta kill them. We gotta kill them, man. And he's just wigging out on stage like a filthy piece of shit. But of course, Juggle, Juggle's they gotta, no worries, they gotta hide it from Christ. I wish you hadn't hit me up while I was, this inebriated. My ass would work 10 times as hard. Find your fucking ass. What's the keyword? Justin Roiland. Nazis. Right? And then I look at the goddamn videos, and it's like, I don't know. And it's hiding. Yep, that's it. Can't find it. I cannot find the original clip. Oh, well, I guess it didn't happen. Didn't happen, folks. I watched it, but it didn't happen because Google went, no, and made sure that it disappeared. When are the hunts going to begin? When do we begin the hunts? God, grant me this right. God, grant me this right. Things that I cannot change. Fuck you, pieces of shit, fucking cocksuckers. Suka Bliat says Opium Cop was one of Sexual Lobster's best works. No, I mean, I haven't seen that one, or maybe I have, but I don't remember. My favorite was the fucking one about the goo. Mystery Goo? I think it was called Mystery Goo. That's about right. Yeah. It will turn any, what does he say? Turn any normal human being into a beer-swilling cricket fan. Like, that was the most fucked up thing. Rospadin says, my favorite quote by my favorite philosopher, I'm a strong, independent nutsack that don't need no balls. Ego Raptor. Interesting choice of philosopher guy. Stephen Knight says, random question, what's your favorite Irish dish or Irish-esque thing to eat? Lol. I ask this because I have some cabbage and potatoes cooking with ham hocks. Ooh, you from the South, boy. You're going to have to tell me what ham... no, you know what's funny? I've had several women at work be like, yeah, that's a ham hock. And I don't know what that is. They've described it to me. I still don't know what the fuck it is. Well, mostly because they're women and I'm tuning them out. But, okay, interesting question. My favorite Irish dish, Wexford cakes. But essentially, that's just Jewish latkes. Essentially, potato cake, potato pancake. Other than that, if it was truly Irish, oh, geez, I don't know. Whiskey. Like, I don't know. That's a weird, I don't really actually know a lot of Irish cuisine. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't know. Caslab208 says, you still keeping up with Adam Alexia from the podcast that shall not be named? Wonder how they feel about the Prime Minister being... No, I don't keep up with them. So, I see him on Facebook now and again. We don't really talk. Lincoln says, OnlyFans is a premium porn site, my dude. Really? I thought that it was a way of saying, God damn, I'm so fucking old and boomer. I thought it was a way, like, go to my OnlyFans was like a way of saying, like, only my fans can get through this pay shield for my premium Snapchat. That's what I always thought that was. This shows you how little I give a shit about the thoughts and their bullshit. Because I have no idea what that's about. Stephen Knight says, honest opinion, I don't like season 4 of Rick and Morty as much as 1 through 3. That's because he hired a bunch of social justice women to make sure. He says, it doesn't vibe as well, and to make shit funny, it just blasts you in the face with hopes and hopes you laugh. Yeah, no shit. Then he says, hopefully the second half of season 4 is better. If they fired all of the writing cast, it'll get better. That's about what we got to look forward to. Casleb says, when was the last time you played Gen 1 Pokemon? About 2 years ago when I got it on the 3DS. Maybe 3 years ago, actually. Might be about right. Then Caslab says, Egoraptor did voice in Final Fantasy VII Remake. Try to look out for him. I'm going to need to see some citation. Kane the Warlock says, yes, Egoraptor. The if I'm not good at it, then no one's good at it, therefore it must be bad. I know the feeling. Sarah says, OnlyFans is not just for porn, lol. You can upload anything. A lot of porn, though. Yep. Sukabliat says, have you heard about the wildfires going on in Chernobyl? I have. There are wildfires getting close to radioactive material reserves, whatever the fuck, near Chernobyl. If those fires get close enough, they're going to oxidize radioactive material. Not even fucking sure what that means for half of Europe. Can we get any worse? Yeah, it can get worse. I'll lose my cat. Christ! Good as rice wine, though. And I got to the end. I actually managed to make it to the end of all the comments. This is surprising for a Tolstoy video. Oh, there it is. More popped in. Malone Johnson says, have you ever watched some Ordinary Gamers? He made H3H3 donate $100,000 to, can't say that, Relief after calling him out, just asking if you heard about it. I have not. I know who H3H3 is. I have not heard about the Ordinary Gamers. Canslab says, have any opinions on the Tiger King? No. Just that it is pure. I've seen a couple episodes. It is pure, uncut, unadulterated fucking insanity. That is pure American insanity, my friends. Ultimate X James says, internet porn is better than TV porn. What is TV porn? Like, fuck. Let's check the coronavirus death toll. Christ. Just do it. Fucker. Motherfucker. You fucking piece of bullshit. Okay. 126,000. That jumped recently. What was it before? 123? I don't even remember anymore. Yeah, well, anyway. Kazlab says, you gonna try to wrestle your brother for the TV tonight for more FF7 remake? Son, I'm too trash to care about a game right now. No, I'm gonna watch a fucking movie. And we generally have a pretty good schedule worked out. It's past a certain point, it's my TV. Before a certain point, it's his. So we just kind of deal with it like that. So, anyway. And when I said before on live streams that I was gonna wrestle, it meant that it was before that time, and I was gonna, try to, figure that the fuck out with him. So, there's that. Caslab also says, what are your brother? Human. Well, autistic, but I assume human. Caslab also then says, thoughts on the game so far? I'm sure he watched you play some of it. His thoughts on the game so far? And again, if you want the thoughts, you're going to have to wait for the review. Stephen Height says, do you have a schedule for your streams, or you just play them by ear? Plan them by ear, son. Giovanni Guzzi says, are you looking at FF7 remake? It's staying in Midgar until probably Chapter 2 comes out. They mentioned a possible overworld like in the original. Yeah, they better bring that overworld. And all the thoughts are being saved for the review. LinkedIn says, TV porn means contracting your television provider and paying for adult channels. What the fuck is a TV provider? Kazlab, you know what? there's all this shit that's before me that I'm like, oh, I don't know what an OnlyFans is. And then there's all this shit behind me where I'm like, I don't know what the fuck that shit is. Like, what's cable? Y'all still have that? Also, need to take a pee. Zoop. Yeah. I'm back. Now. Yep. Yeah, ta 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 ta. Yeah, paying for adult channels. The fuck does any of that mean? Nice. Kazlab208 says, well, there are giant mechanical spiders in it, so I'm sure he likes those. Yeah, we've had discussions about the mechanics of their world, and trust me, that shows up in the review, so just stay tuned. That game came out after FF7, and it came packaged with a demo of FF8. We've discussed this. Well, I don't care. Ultimate X James says, ever heard of the Adult Channel? No. I didn't grow up in the era of channeling porn through your television set via paying for Videodrome, which, by the way, thank you. I might actually watch now. Thank you. Malone Johnson says, TV porn is having Comcast On Demand in 2006 and deciding to watch the Playboy Channel or Sonic X. Son, Sonic X is a television series, and everything else you said sounds like an aneurysm. Why are you all suddenly experts on this? You're like, yeah. By the way, back in 2003, you could have called up. Yeah, well, in 2003, I was trying to get the... Oh, never mind. Christ. Ultimate X James says, or the Erotic Zone or Movies 24. I find it so interesting that all of y'all who I assume are younger than me know more about this antiquated technology in the way of seeing titties before you could see titties. Like, I don't fucking understand. Sukabliat says, they've been adding deaths not caused by COVID to the death toll. I have heard that. I don't know how I feel about that. Sarah says, have you seen Train to Busan? I saw the ad to it on Netflix. It looks like a zombie film. Therefore, I don't care. Ultimate X James says, remember the show Sex Citra? No, I don't fucking remember that. What? Christ, you all are like, hey, you don't remember fucking looking at porn on weird-ass, fucking... You don't remember hooking into, like, a pay-per-view porn on Cinemax? Nah. Like, I heard that you could do that as a kid. I never did that, because I was a kid. Like, fuck, man. What happened to all you in your lives? Stephen Knight says, alcohol and games go together like French fries and ketchup, although after enough, you'll get sick and won't be able to play properly. Personal experience. Universal experience. Casleb says, thoughts on films by Ralph Bakshi. Ever watch his Lord of the Rings movie? Ooh, God. Damn, that's a fucking question that I cannot goddamn answer without putting a gun to my head. Why would you ask that? I would never say that Frank Balchi was like one of the greatest creators / animators of our time and made timeless goddamn movies that were completely unappreciated because they were fucking racist. But, I know that. So I would never say that. Quit asking weird shit. And yes, I have seen his Lord of the Rings films. Interesting. Steven Knight says, Simpsons or Futurama? Oh, bro, Futurama. What? Are you asking if I like normies or good version of that show? Ultimate X James says, remember Mr. Macy says alcohol is bad. Mr. I don't think his name in the show is Mr. Macy. I feel like you're some kind of like weird-ass Chinese shill. It's Mr. Mr. Mackey. Oh, what is that how his name is spelled? I would have assumed it's M-A-C-K-E-Y, Mackey. Anyway, Lincoln says also R.I.P. Everything jumped. Oh, he says R.I.P. What? I can't read. Also, R.I.P. May voice actor for Peppy and Andros and Soldier, Team Fortress 2. It's also a voice actor died. Sucks. Kazlab says, gonna watch Clerks, Mallrats, Clerk 2 during the quarantine? No, I actually recently rewatched the reboot of Jay and Silent Bob and was a little bit amused, but mostly sickened. Terrible. Bongmancer says, hey Tolstoy, have you ever taught about doing a video showing your cardistry collection? Hell no, I suck at both of those. Why the hell should I teach? Belong Johnson says, 4Kids was always next to the adult channel on Comcast, so it was Sonic or Boobs. Again, you all seem to know way more about this than I do. I never had access to that as a kid because my parents apparently weren't sick. So, there's that. Like, fuck me, mate. You think that's why you're fucked up? You ever think that's why? Sarah then says, you could watch porn on demand when I was growing up, my guy. Yeah, not me. What ages are you? I'm older than most of you, goddammit. How y'all trying to think you're going, fucking back in the day, we stared at the neighbor girl's tits and we liked it. Y'all trying to tell me how to be. I'll tell you how to be. You're wrong. Back in my day, let me tell you how it is, fat. If old Cornflake Jackson says the Shanghai Shivers ain't no thing, that's how I know you're full of shit, and I'll punch your baby daughter in the mouth. Vote Joe Biden. Just kidding. It don't matter. You know why? Orange Man's gonna win. You know how I know that? Because he's running against Joe Biden. Christ. Kazlab then says, did you watch the Sex and the City movies? Of fucking course I did. Are you high? I loved that series. Tee-hee. I don't know what the fuck to say. That's a very lesser-known Tolstoy fact that I've seen, like, almost all of the Sex and the City, both the show and the movies. I don't know what the fuck to say. Like, it was like, it's like Final Fantasy VII for me. I don't usually go in for that thing. When I do, it's this flavor. I don't usually go in for JRPGs. When I do, it's Final Fantasy VII and or Skies of Arcadia. Or I don't usually go in for the dramas. When I do, it's usually Sex and the City. Therefore, that. Everything bumped. Oh, Christ. Y'all gonna bump it. Kane the Warlock says, I hope the Square, he's still calling him Square instead of Squeenix. Interesting. Says, actually makes a Parasite Eve remake because they mentioned they might, which would be funny because the original was made because of the money FF7 made. Yeah, man. Look, I tried to get into Parasite Eve so bad. I love its premise. Its gameplay was absolute total fucking dog shit, and you know it. But the premise was dope! So, if they do, I'm fucking down. Kazlab says, ever get into the films of Spike Lee? No, I don't hate white people, so. Autistic Naval says, did you know the government has been putting COVID... Why would you make me say the horrible word they're gonna fucking jam in jet fuel so the chemtrails infect the air? Oh my Christ. Alright, listen, that's more Alex Jones than me. Lincoln says, it's Mr. Mackey. I've been rewatching the Jackass movies. Yeah, good luck with that. I saw those in theaters when I was a kid. Autistic Naval then says, you should do another trench coat collection video. Well, I don't have any of them, so I don't I can't make that video. Good suggestion. Steven Knight says, damn, stick to my second question. Lol. Family Guy, American Dad, or Cleveland Show? Ooh. Family Guy, followed closely by American Dad, and then Cleveland Show, in that order of quality. Just felt like they were reaching to me. Yeah, they always were, but meh. They're still funny. What are you gonna do? They're like McDonald's, you know? They're shit. You know they're shit for you, but at 3 in the morning when you're drunk as fuck and you want 100 goddamn McNuggets, like, where you gonna go? Also, you know what tastes great at 3 a.m. when you're drunk as shit? 100 goddamn McNuggets. And you fucking know it. You know it. So don't even lie to my ass. You know? You see what I'm saying? Lincoln says, but I will say that Jay and Silent Bob reboot was meh. No, it was shit. Don't say it was meh. It was shit. I laughed 2 times. You know? It was still shit. Lincoln says, yeah, most of us are younger than you, but we had parents that used outdated electronics. That still doesn't make any sense. The outdated electronics allowed them to, to have porn come into their fucking house? You know, I don't understand. All right? I'm not understanding, and I don't like it. I'm getting confused, and therefore violent. You know, and drunk. So that's also that. Yep. Fuck you, Top. Hey, look, I caught the top. Neat. Fuck you, Fat. Autistic Navel says, is it a fat eat fat world? Gonna need more clarification on what you mean by that, son. Everything jumped. Malone Johnson says, we're not fucked up, but you are the one who is drunk, making you the fucked up one, my friend. Don't worry, you can still come to my birthday party, though. Nah, son, you can't confuse me. Aha! You think that I think that you think that I think that you think. I don't give a fuck what we're talking about. Like, fuck, you guys are all like, oh yeah, this is some sort of like universal thing that, if you change a channel 7, we all saw hardcore butt fucking, and I'm just like, no, you goddamn didn't. And I know this because controls on society only got harder after 9/11. And I can tell you fucking this, that I grew up, yeah. We all knew that if you turned to channel whatever, you could see some fuzzy boobs. Yeah, I mean, I saw that as a kid. I did not see hardcore, butt fucking 5 when I was 6 years old, because that's not how that technology works. Like, I don't fucking understand. You guys are acting like through a cable system, you all were seeing, unless all of your fucking parents paid for hardcore pornography and were like, LOL, don't care if my kids see. And in which case, I'm very fucking sad for you all. Y'all trying to, like, put me in the barrel. You're like, Tolstoy doesn't... No. You ain't gonna put baby in the corner. Fuck you. You're wrong. And if that's the case, goddamn, your fucking parents were abusers. In which case, fuck you, faggot. Sorry, I didn't mean to go back to real Tolstoy mode. I'm sorry. I got too drunk and said things that are real. I didn't mean to say that. I meant to say that all parents show their kids... No, I'm sorry. I'm not that. No, I'm not Joe Biden. Yeah, sorry about that. Lincoln says, if Joe Biden lost... Oh, everything bumped. Christ, everything bumped. Lincoln says, if Joe Biden lost, all you had to do is to tell him he did win and put him in a fake... I've seen that Facebook post. That Chan post where they were like, LOL, we should just tell him that he won and put him in a fake-ass White House, like a set, and just see what he does, because it would be comedy gold. Yeah. Steven Knight says, ever play Kingdom Hearts? Yeah, man. I played several of the Kingdom Hearts games. Yeah, they're not good, but I played them. Autistic Navel says, SOG is better than Spyderco and K-Bar combined. Oh, I'm going to kill you. Okay. Oh, that's what we're doing. I'm killing you. I didn't know that shit. I'll see you soon. Just post your location. Steven Knight says, what was Parasite Eve about? Oh my god, it's about Mitochondrial Eve data? New York? Fuck, it was like one of the best horror films that ever happened in the 90s in New York. It was 90s in New York! Can you imagine how fucking great it would have been to been in the 90s in goddamn New York? I was living in the 90s in Maryland, but back in the day, you could actually afford to live in the goddamn, the slums, but you could actually afford to live in the goddamn slums of New York. New York City, the greatest fucking city on earth. Do you understand me? Like, but wait, it takes place, and there's like an alien invasion. Monsters happen. The problem was like, it was too fucking, not hard. Yeah, hard. Yeah, hard is the word you're looking for. It was not secure. Oh, you ran out of ammo so quick. Dude, play it yourself. Oh, you can't download that. You can't download that on PSN anymore if you don't have a PlayStation 3 or a PSP. Ooh. Well, good luck, or look it up on YouTube. Who the fuck cares? But I really enjoyed the first quarter of that game, and I just couldn't ever finish. I've restarted it like 9 times. Perfect game to play in a quarantine, by the way. It has that claustrophobic something bad is happening. Oh, you know what? Honestly, the way they wrote the dialogue, it feels better than Final Fantasy VII. Ooh! But I can't say that. That's a bad thing to say. I'm just saying. The dialogue is written better than Final Fantasy VII, which honestly, you're not passing much of a bar. The Final Fantasy VII games weren't written all that well. Y'all want to tell me more about what's up in the 90s? Ooh, in the 90s we all had... Fucker, none of you were all born in the goddamn 90s. Get the fuck out of here. Scratching my dominant fucking alpha neck beard to let you know. Sarah says, do you still recommend Mystery Ranch packs? Of fucking course I do, bitch. I'm looking for another one that has 50 liters. Mystery Ranch, they're the best. The best. The best around. Nothing's gonna ever get you down. Anyway. Kane the Warlock says, mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. Yeah. The game, which is a sequel to a book by the same name. Oh my god, it's a goddamn book? Are you saying I can read a book and not have to deal with that shitty gameplay? Please tell me the name of the translated book so that I may buy it and not deal with that goddamn shitty gameplay. Your fucking example for when books are better than goddamn video games. Well, CNHR Studio says smoke meth. Well, it's not truly the end of days yet, so I'm gonna pass. I'm gonna pass on smoking meth for now. Soon. Malong Johnson says, you always get violent and angry when you're drunk, but it's okay. We still watch in amusement. I don't feel like that's always true, but, hey, thanks for your input. I'll remember to hunt you down and kill you later. CNHR Studio says, smoke meth. Again, I'm not going to do that. Sarah says, man, even YouTube had some softcore porn back in the day. Well, that's interesting because I don't remember any of that. I'm glad y'all remember that shit. I never looked for that because I was a good boy. Fucking, you all are fucking this. Blah, blah, blah. You. I'm blaming you. Yeah. Lincoln says, what I meant when telling you about TV porn is it's an option people use. I don't know about anyone else. Though or so. Well, everyone in the stream is acting like this is some sort of like socially ubiquitous thing that they would just like use their cable connection to find porn. Like that was not my experience as a child. Thank fucking God. Y'all are. Steven Knight then says, "Give me a dope ass old school anime that not many people know about, and I'm trying to bring something. And I'm trying to binge something tonight, and I'd rather not be a Rick and Morty for the 5th time." Well, if you haven't seen no Cowboy Bebop, yeah, well, it's Bebop now. You gotta see your Trigons. Welcome to the NHK is dope. Any of them Tenchi Muyos. I only have old head anime to reference, that's about right. Watch, hey, have you watched A Gene Demi-Human? Son, I don't care about old school. Just watch A Gene Demi-Human, okay? It's the fucking thing to do. You're a fucking asshole. Autistic Abel then says, listen, fat. Nice. I challenge you to do a push-up contest. Listen, I'd have to be sober for that. What are you? The guy, like, shows up to the racetrack and is like, I slashed your tires. Now it's a race. Like, fuck you, faggot. What are you, this overly manly man meme? Oh, I drink whiskey and then work out? No, you don't. You know how I know that? Because you don't work out with whiskey in your system. You know how I know that? Done it before. Quit lying. Kane the Warlock says, Parasite Eve wasn't even that hard in my opinion, except for the final boss. Son, walking through fucking Central Park, or whatever that was, the park sequence, you run out of ammo instantly. You know, I'm glad that you have the magical RPG touch, but God knows I don't. Bleh. He says, it reminds me of The Thing sometimes. Ooh, yes it does. Yeah, it has kind of some Thing elements to it, doesn't it? Like The Thing by John Carpenter is what I'm saying. Sarah then says, does Silent Hill compare to Parasite Eve? No, it's different. One of those is biological horror, one of those is existential. That French-Canadian guy says, I'm turning 30 this year, and I find this depressing. I'm 31. Deal with it, asshole. Sarah says, I'm about to binge the saga. What saga? Kane the Warlock says, the book is on much similar scale, only confined to a hospital in Japan. Again, same name, Parasite Eve. Really? Do they have translations? Like, I want. Me gusta. Steven Knight says, ever play Galarians, Ryan, or see the movie? Oh, God, no. I have no idea what you're talking about. That's a weird foreign language you're speaking. Malong Johnson says, you always say more questionable stuff to me every stream. What did I ever do to you besides subscribe and write your lore? I don't know. The fuck? You're asking me questions about pornography. Like, that's relatively inflammatory. And you're like, oh, wow, I didn't expect a weird response from him. I'm like, fuck. What are you, cops? I don't know. Why do they shoot at people? Like, you're shooting at them. Like, fuck. I've got nothing against you. You ask inflammatory things, I give you the inflammatory answers. Like, you ask benign things, I'll give you benign answers. I don't think that I'm being that insane. I get it. I'm pretty insane, but I'm not that insane. Lincoln says, Tolstoy, I'd love to see you look at an RX Siege Operator videos and or cinematics. Wait, what the fuck are we talking about? What the fuck? Steven Knight says, a Gene Demi-Human, huh? All right, bet. I saw this a few years ago because I didn't dig the animation, but I'll give it a try. Since you basically gave me Prey. Oh, a Gene Demi-Human? It's the goddamn best thing. I won't even spoil it. Just, Sato is the man. Yata ta 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 ta. Can't screw the goddamn bottle back on because I'm retarded and also drunk. Ta-ta-ta. Rospit. Oh, interesting question. Stephen Knight says, by the way, did you kill the cook and Prey? So, did I kill the cook and Prey? So, the first time around, I did. The second time around, I didn't. Kane the Warlock says, Parasite Eve was Square's answer to Resident Evil. Interesting thought. I can't really decide which one I like. I mean, obviously Resident Evil in terms of gameplay, but the plot from Parasite Eve was so in-depth and interesting. I mean, how can you fault it? It's so cool. And right. I'm sorry, I'm really big into anthropology and evolution, and so that shit like just like programs my autism, man. Rose Beden says, Tolstoy, did you ever get to play the third birthday of on PSP? No, I have no idea what you're talking about. Long Johnson says, I never asked questions about porn. I said Sonic and boobs. All right. What did you mean by Sonic and boobs? Let's clarify, man. Christ. You know I'm fucked up. I have no idea what we're talking about. Christ, man. Nah. And then Cyber Monkey says, Outlaw Star is better than Cowboy Bebop. Son, I'm not even angry. I'm just disappointed. Because you're fucking wrong, and me and your mother know you can do better than that. Autistic Naval says, what type of bump... Ooh! Oh, you a fucking fed, boy! I see you being a goddamn fed. I see this motherfucker being a fed. I see him. By the way, I have better accuracy than you ATF faggots with just my regular equipment. Okay, so there's that. Faggot! Clive Winston says, please watch Hamilton's Pharmacopoeia. It's right up your alley. I guess I'll have to? Because that literally sounds like something I actually did some kind of research into. Like that sounds like something I was supposed to read for school, but I don't remember. Pharmacopoeia. Stephen Knight says, how many more minutes left in the stream, bud? Oh, not many. Like 5 at best. Lincoln says, R6 Siege, Rainbow Six Siege, each operator is different and useful in their own right. Plus, I'd love to hear Wait, what? I'd love to hear your praises and gripes about the operator videos. Like I said, if my computer could handle it and someone would buy it for me. My computer... Oh, wait. Or if you buy it for me on PSN. I guess is the caveat there. Autistic Naval says, 3D print a drum mag. Ha! You actually can't goddamn do that. Then Kane the Warlock says, the book is translated on Amazon and other sites for $10. Physical copies seem to be used only. All right. Well, maybe I might actually check into that because I really actually like that story. Either way, this seems to be about the end. I'm getting way too fucked up, but this is actually better than most of the goddamn times that I end this shit. That being said, thank you for all tuning in.